Hello everyone and welcome to another challenge in the daily September challenges of EDIST being conducted on the FANG companies, that is Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, just the product companies which are really difficult coding questions. So if you want to sign up, you can go to the link mentioned here, or if you have any doubts or questions, you can reach out to us on the given WhatsApp number or the email ID. Today's question was a question based on Amazon. Again, we've used an Amazon previously asked question. This was, I think, asked in 2019, although we'll have to double check. The major thing that you have to remember here is that this kind of a question was asked. We've modified it a little bit to give you a little bit more concepts, so you can be exposed to more concepts. And that's the idea of this entire daily challenges, that every day you get a chance to practice and you come to know your own level of where you're at, how much more preparation you need. So for those of you who are joining us the first time, may I remind you that you have to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel so that you can get more such updates about all the activities that we are doing. And yeah, I'll just go over the rules once again. This is the link that you can sign up on, or there's another link given in the description below. You can sign up on that as well. Since 24th September, we've been doing this challenge daily, and every day 6 p.m. So today it opened up at 6 p.m. and now at 9 p.m. we are showing you the solution of it, and the top people get to be on the leaderboard. So congrats to everybody who's on top of the leaderboard right now. The question for today is called this maximum value, right? And let's actually open it up on the EDIST platform and read the question fully and understand what it is. On the face of it, it's simple, but again, a bunch of optimizations you can do on it. So let's just get started with this. So the question is like this, that you are given actually a bag with n balls. Each ball has a certain value vi assigned to it. So automatically our mind goes that it's probably an arrays question. You have to pick up 5 balls from the bag such that their product is maximized. So the entire product, you have to pick 5 from n balls that are given over here. And how big is n over here? So the first line of input contains a single integer n, second line contains, okay, that's fine, n can go up to about 100,000, right? So that's like 10 raised to 5 it can go up to. So no chance of actually generating all the possible combinations, because if you do 10 raised to 5 c5, there will be like way too many combinations for you to even figure out. So we can't generate all the combinations, but among these we have to select 5. If we are given only 5, then we know for sure that those are the 5 we have to select. We can't take more than that. So for example, here we are given -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. You can only select these 5 and the other product comes to -120. So the product can be negative as well, and we have negative numbers here, right? So let's go to the slide and understand this question better. Basically, let's start making certain observations, right? So for example, we have to choose the max product of 5 numbers, right? So which means that if, let's say, if all the numbers in the array given were positive, then we know for sure that I just have to select the 5 maximum numbers and I'm done, right? So this is the easy case. This is easy case. That means there are no negative numbers. If one is negative, still it's an easy case, because rest all are positive. So we'll either end up choosing, if there are only 5 numbers and one is negative, you have to anyways choose all. If there are 6 numbers or more and only one is negative, then you just choose the maximum 5 numbers and you're still happy. What happens if there are 2 numbers that are negative though? So now the 2 numbers that are negative could combine and produce a positive number, or we just select the maximum 5 numbers, or something in middle, right? Similarly, what happens if there are 3, 4 or 5 that are negative, right? Now this gets interesting. So for example, if I have like numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I know that whatever I do, I have to select these 5 numbers. Let's say I have like some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I know I should just select. By the way, the array will not be sorted, but we are just taking sorted just as an example. I know if I select the top 5 numbers, I'm happy, right? So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will give me the maximum product. Introduce a negative number here, and still selecting the top 5 is good for me. Introduce another negative, let's say -50, and now it's actually worth selecting these 2, right? And selecting the end 3, right? So you would select -1, -50, and you would let go of 6 into 7, because 6 into 7 would give you 42. You would rather take 8 into 9 into 10 into 50 rather than 8 into 9 into 10 into 42. So getting in 2 negative numbers kind of spoils the game. Now imagine if there were 3 negative numbers. So if it's something like minus 100 over here, right? What do? We could select 2 of these negative numbers and then 3 positive numbers from here, right? That's one thing to do. We would never ever want to select all 3 negative, because there are obviously some numbers on the side which are positive, which will give us a positive number. So we would always want to select that. But let's add another one. And now all of a sudden we would want to select all of these negative numbers and probably just one positive number over here, right? So again, depends on the magnitude of each number. And let's say if there were 5 negative, then what do you do, right? So again, you'd probably select the top 4 negative and then one positive in this scenario. In other scenarios, you would probably select something else. So like, let's say the negatives were not so great, right? So if the negatives were themselves minus 2, minus 3, right? In this case, and even let's say minus 4. In this case, you'll always go with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You never actually go for minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, because those aren't really adding that much value. So it really depends on the magnitude of each number, right? Okay. But how do we go about solving such a question, right? And in such questions, like, there are 1 or 2 cases. The entire point is you have to make an observation, which, you would have seen in the first day, in the second day, and now you're on the third day. You have to make an observation such that, does that observation help you simplifying the problem? Number 1. And 2, does that observation work with the given constraints? If it doesn't, then we have to keep optimizing. If it does with the given constraints, we're happy, and let's just go to the implementation part, right? So don't try to get the most optimal way all the time. There could be much more optimal ways. But what we're saying is, with the given optimizations, does it pass the constraints? And that's enough for us. So if we just go back and check the constraints basically tell this, that we have about 3000 and minus 3000, which means that, let's say you could have the maximum number, like the maximum product itself could be 3 raised to 5 is, that's roughly about what, 3, 9, 27, 81, 243 into 10 raised to 15, right? That's what it could be. So the first thing that you come to know about here is you definitely need a long integer type. I'll be doing it in Python right now, so you can I don't have to worry about that, but in your language you'll have to take a long or long, right, and do make note of that part. So that's the first thing to take care of here. The second thing to take care here is that this is 10 raised to 5, right? So in 10 raised to 5, I am allowed sorting. So that's one thing I can do. That's a good hint for us, right? So I am allowed sorting over here. What's the other thing that I'm allowed? I can probably do an order n approach. N square I cannot do anything, but order n approach is fine for me within this. So in some case, if I can get this 10 raised to 5, in 10 raised to 5 I can't generate all the possibilities, because that will be way beyond 10 raised to 5. I can go through this entire array once, right, or twice, right? Order n is fine. I can also sort it, so that's also fine, because n log n will not really give us much over here. So I can also sort this thing, and that also works out for us, right? Okay, fair enough. So we got these 2 things over here that we can sort and do that. Let's come back to our observation, right? So if I'm allowed to sort and I'm allowed to go through the array once and all of that, what is it that I should try to do? Well, the magic of this question actually lies in this product of 5 numbers, right? Can we narrow down the candidates of these 5 numbers, right? So the candidates of these 5 numbers will be, if I am at all choosing the positive numbers, at max I will want to choose the 5 maximum positive numbers, right? At max. So like in this scenario, where all the negative numbers are useless for me, I will probably take the max 5 numbers. There is no scenario in which I would want to take 5, right? In the sense, if I take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there is no scenario in which I will ever take 5, right? No matter how bad the negative numbers are, my 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will be sufficient for me. So at max I will take 5 of the positive numbers. I will never need more than those 5 positive numbers, right? Similarly, for the negative numbers, right? Let's say I had over here minus 10, minus 7, minus 8, right? And probably like, minus 8, minus 7, and let's say minus 5, right? Let's say I had this. I will always take these 5. There will be no scenario in which I will even consider minus 3. There's no point of considering minus 3, right? You might say, well, I might consider minus 3 with a minus 2, but then you might as well consider minus 3 with a minus 4, right? There's no need to consider minus 2 or minus 3 at all. So beyond minus 3, I'll never need it. In fact, beyond minus 4, I'll never need it. I'll only take these 5, right? Now, automatically, our entire problem came down to selecting at max the 5 positive numbers and at max the 5 negative numbers, right? I'll never take more than these, right? I would never need any other negative numbers apart from them. So if I sort the entire array and I get the 5 negative numbers or all the negative numbers. So for example, if I have only 3 negative numbers, let me get only the 3 negative numbers. I will not take more than that, right? And let me take the 5 positive numbers, the 5 max positive numbers that I need. What I'm left with is just 10 numbers, right? At maximum. It could be lesser than that, but I just at which points we actually, so just the observation is we actually only need the max 5 negative and the max 5 positive values, right? So in this one, if I generate this list of 10 numbers, then I have narrowed down my candidates. All the other numbers I need not really take. So I can just narrow down my candidates to 10 numbers, right? Now, I actually, if you are paying attention, you realize what did I say at the start? Depending on the constraints, we choose which algorithm to choose. If I have only 10 numbers, I can do brute force and we still won't have any issues, right? The problem comes is when I do like 1,000, 10,000, 10 raised to 5, 10 raised to 6, I can never do brute force over there. But in these 10 numbers, if I know that my product can come only from, you know, any 5 numbers from these 10 numbers, why don't I actually try to get all of those 5 numbers, right? All of the combinations of those 5 numbers, right? And so the question now comes down to get these maximum 5 negative values, maximum 5 positive values, and generate all of the possible combinations in those. So what I can do is basically, doesn't matter over here, doesn't matter. Let's just generate all combinations, right? Because if you, one second, all combinations, because even if you check it, 10C5 is what, right? If you try to calculate 10C5 will be somewhere around 200 or so. It will not really be that much. Let's say 10C5 is even, 1000. We don't really care about it because we just try to generate these 5 numbers and we just try to select these 5 numbers from 10 numbers, right? So we'll actually just go ahead and apply brute force. So this is again a beauty of it, that asked by Amazon, if you made the right observations, all you need to do was brute force, right? And brute force, this generation, it's not too difficult. If you would have told somebody who's not at all tuned to competitive programming or product companies how to generate all combinations of 5 numbers, they might have found it a little difficult, but not super difficult, right? It's just arriving at that is the difficult part, and for that requires a lot of practice. It requires just looking at these problems in this kind of way. So the approach that we'll follow is basically this, right? Get the 5 max positive values, max negative value, try all possible combinations of those, and we'll choose the maximum product, right, of those. We'll choose the maximum product. Now, how do we actually get all possible combinations? How do we get this, right? There are multiple ways. I'll show you one way, right? And there are another, I'll also mention a couple of other ways. But first, let's get to that stage, right? So we'll get to that stage in just a bit, right? So let me just start writing the code for this one. Okay, so one second. Yeah, I'll just start writing the code for it. Hold on. Okay, great. So what's the first thing that we'll probably do in this code? The first thing that we need to do is get the input, that is the number of elements in the list. So that is list map int input dot split, right? So that is that is the array itself, that's not n. So n itself is this, n is int input, right? And some of you asked me why I continue to write in Python. It's mainly because a lot of beginners are actually learning in Python. Those of you who are already used to C++, you can just look at the logic and you'll be able to convert it to C++ really easily. I'm just doing it in Python so that a lot of beginners do either in Python or Java, and a lot of students on our Edis platform are doing it on Python. It will also really help you in your tech interviews, by the way, like Python or Java, because your tech interviewers are generally going to be working on their projects either in Python or Java. And if you are able to explain all these concepts in Python or Java, it really helps out. So yeah, I took the input, the number, I took the array, and once we've taken the array, what do we need to do? We need to get the 5 maximum values and the positive values, 5 negative values, right? So let's say pos values is equal to this, and the negative values is equal to this, right? Is equal to an empty array. And first what we'll do is we'll sort this array, right? So we're going to sort this array, and now we'll try to get the 5 negative values. So I'll start from the beginning, I is equal to 0, while I less than 5 and ARR of I is still less than 0. So that means we want only those values that are negative in this negative values, right? We'll do negative underscore values dot append. What do we append? We append ARR of I. That's what we're going to append over here, right? And also, yeah, increment, otherwise we'll get into an infinite loop. So I is equal to I plus 1, right? Okay, that is that. Now let's get the negative values, right? So so this was the negative values. Now let's try to get the positive values. So what we'll do is I is equal to 0, and this time we need to start from the end, right? So while what we're going to do is we'll probably, okay, while I less than 5, we're starting from the end, and ARR of, like, -1 will be the last element. So we'll try to do -1 first, -0, then -2, -3, -4, and so on, right? So in Python you can do it like this. The other way that you could probably do it is use len of ARR -1 minus I. That's another thing you can do, or just -1 minus I is also fine. Is greater than or equal to 0. So we'll include 0 in one of the positive values. So positive values dot append ARR of I. So I'll do I is equal to I plus 1, right? Or you can just do I plus is equal to 1, that's shorthand, right? So this way we are increasing the values of I, and we've got the positive values, negative values in this list, positive values in this list. What we'll do is we'll do a shortlisted. So shortlisted is equal to negative values, shortlisted is equal to negative values plus positive values. And again, the good thing about Python is you can just concatenate two arrays like this. So now these arrays are joined, right? And what we need to do is go through each, basically in this array, we have to generate all of the possible values that can be there, right? So yeah, that is, we have to generate all combinations of 5 that are possible, right? And how do we do that? There are multiple ways. So one thing you could do is you could use iter tools, right? Although I generally suggest against using iter tools. But you could use iter tools. It's a great way for brute forcing things in Python. But generally the language agnostic, that is the one that does not depend on a library, the best way to generate these kind of combinations is through bit manipulation, right? And I'll just explain what that is, right? 1 second. Yeah, so we'll do it via bit manipulation, right? What does that mean? Basically, on bit manipulation, it's as simple as this, right? So let's say if I have 10 numbers, right? Assume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So these are the 10 numbers that we have. What will be all of the numbers possible in a 10-bit number, right? So in a 10, let's say only 10 bits, while the number actually has about 32 bits, but let's say if there are only 10 bits, what are all the possible numbers in that? So you'll have the same thing, except that you can get 1 over here, right? You could also get, 1 second, you could get yeah, so the numbers are basically, okay, sorry for that. Yeah, so these are the numbers. 1 second, numbers of 1, then you have 2, so there will be 1, 0, then you'll have 3, then you'll have 4, then you'll have 5, and so on, right? And this is just basic bit binary numbers. If you know binary numbers, this will look pretty simple. And what this means is basically the moment you travel from 1 all the way up to the number which has all of the numbers set, right? So if I go all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So if I go from 0 all the way up to 1 by continuously increasing, what will I get? I will get all of the possible combinations of zeros and ones. Sometimes only 1 is set, sometimes only 2 is set, sometimes only 3 is set, only again 2 is set, here 3, and see, this was 5, right? If I go 6, it's going to be like, 1 second. So 6 will be this 1, 1, 0, and 7 will be this, right? This will be 7, right? So now 3 numbers are set. So basically, if you cycle through all the numbers from 0 up until this number, and I'll tell you what this number is, it's nothing but 2 raised to 10 minus 1, because 2 raised to 10 will be 1 followed by 10 zeros, but 2 raised to 10 minus 1 will be all of the ones set. So 2 raised to 10 minus 1, from 0 up until 2 raised to 10 minus 1, if you go, you will get all of the possible combinations of selecting 1 at a time, selecting 2 at a time, selecting 3 at a time, given that there are 10 such bits, right? So we can use this to generate our all possible combinations. How? If only one is there, we'll select only this one number. Here we'll select only this one number which is at the 9th position in the array. And here we'll select only one number which is at the 10th position in the array. Here we'll select two numbers, one at the 9th position and one at the 10th position, right? Here we'll select one number which is at the 8th position in the array. Here we'll select two numbers which are at the 8th position and the 10th position. So this way we can get all of the possible combinations from 0 up until 1 1 1 1 1. And what we need to make sure is we are told that the combination has to be has to have 5 numbers, right? So we can't just select one number and say that's the maximum product. It has to have at least 5 numbers. No, it will have only 5 numbers. So we can, instead of starting from 0, we can instead decide to start that, don't start from 0, start from 1 second. Yeah, so start from this, right? And this is nothing but 31, I believe, because 2 raised to 5 is 32. So this will be 31. We can just check it again. 1 plus 2, 3. This will be 7. So it will be 10. This will be 15, and this will be 31, right? Yeah, so this entire thing will be 31. It's like 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 8 is 15, 15 plus 6 is 31. So this entire thing will be 31. From 31 all the way up to 2 raised to 10 minus 1 is what we need to go to. Now that is if we have 10 numbers shortlisted. If we had only 8 numbers shortlisted, then we should go from 31 to 2 raised to 8 minus 1, right? So we have to go from this position up all the way up till, we start from, because minimum we'll have 5 numbers. So we start from 31, which will have all the numbers selected, right? All the first 5 numbers selected. And from those first 5 numbers, we will keep going on till 2 raised to whatever are the number of elements we have, number of shortlisted elements we have. And we'll try to get them. For more on this, you can just look at how to generate all combinations using bit masking. This is what would bit masking be called. So just generating all the possible combinations through bit masking. And yeah, I mean, it's a very popular technique in to generate all combinations. So that's why we thought of including this, so that you can also get an idea of how this works. So what we'll do is, as I said, we'll start for I in range. We're going to start from 31. And we're going to go till 2 raised to length of shortlisted values, minus 1, right? This is what we'll go to. So we're going to go to this. So if there are 8, we want to go to, sorry, not like that. It will be like this. We want to go to 2 raised to 8 minus 1. If there are only 7 values, we want to go to 2 raised to 7 minus 1, and so on, right? And if it's 10 values, then 2 raised to 10 minus 1. So this is what we'll do. We'll go from 31 all the way here. Once we go there, what we need to do is get the number of set bits, right? So set underscore bits is equal to, what do we do? Get the set bits. And unfortunately there is no built-in function in Python to get this, so we'll have to write our own function. But in C++ there's a built-in function for this, so you can just get that. So we'll get the set bits of I. Okay, once we've got the set bits of I, what we'll do is for j in set bits. So for each set bits, what we're going to do is product is equal to product into shortlisted of j. So for that we need to have a product is equal to 1 over here, and we need to have a certain answer pre-selected. What will that answer be for us? So answer, we can just take it to be a really negative value, and that would probably or rather we have to initially take it to be a very small value. So let's take the shortest value of shortlisted, right? Let's take that and assume shortlisted 0 into 5, right? Let's just take that. You could have also taken, I mean, we are told that the answer is going to be the numbers are going to range from minus 3000, right? You could have also taken minus 3000 raised to 5. That also will do. Let's do that also. That also should work out. A raised to 5, this also does. Anything will do over here, so that's not a big deal. Okay, so we got this, and product is equal to this, and once we've got the product, we'll say that answer is equal to minimum of answer and product. So if we got a new answer, just update it. If the previous answer was still better, we continue with that, and obviously not minimum but rather maximum, right? Maximum of this, right? And finally, yeah, print the answer, right? So what we now left to do is do this get set bits part, right? Let's do this get set bits thing, right? And what I'll first do is just to check if our program is running, because it's been a long time since we've been coding. So what I'll do is I'll just return over here return 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? So let me just return this, sorry, not this. I'll return that the set bits were at the 0th bit, 1st bit, 2nd bit, 3rd bit, 4th bit, right? Let me just return this because the first in our given sample test case there are only 5 numbers, so we are obviously supposed to return all 5, right? So let's do that. And one more thing, we have to do this if length of set bits is equal to 5, then only we do this, because we have to only check all 5 numbers, right? Otherwise we'll end up selecting 10 numbers and so on. So if length of set bits is equal to 5, then do this, and answer is equal to this one. Let's move the prod also till here, right? That just makes more sense. Let's just see if this works out for our run test case. Okay, yeah, we forgot to put a colon over here. Great, let's do that. Yeah, again, I think I continuously make a mistake in the input taking part, so I need to get better at that. Int input dot split, are all the brackets balanced? Yep. Okay, so this is why I ran it first, just to check that, you know, we are okay. Great. So we have a mistake over here that it's going for minus 243 raised to that. That means something is not going correct. So if length set bits is equal to 5, get set bits of I, length set bits is equal to 5, prod is equal to 1, and yeah, so we are returning get set bits, we're returning this thing. Okay, all right. And yeah, so we've already made some mistake over here. So let's first try to find out what that mistake is, and then we'll, you know, try to actually find it. So let's print the set bits first. Print set underscore bits. So the way we'll debug it is, hold on, we'll first try to print the shortlisted values, right? Print shortlisted. Okay, let's do that and see whether we're getting the shortlisted correct or not. Yeah, okay, so the shortlisted are correct, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. That's good. Okay, we got the shortlisted. Let's, is the length here 5? 1 second. Yeah, so it's returning 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's try to print here. What's the problem? Print J, is it even coming inside this one? Okay, all right, it's probably not ever going inside this loop, because we said okay, I got the issue over here. So it's probably not even coming inside the loop. Why? Because we are going from 2 raised to 5 minus 1 till 31. So from 31 to 31 it's not even going to go, because we want to include minus 1. We should actually remove it from here, because it's anyways less than, right? So now if I run it, it will work out, because see, in Python it goes from whatever range, starts from this and it goes till less than this, right? This we have not really continued, or sorry, we're not really completed the question, because we just hard coded this value here, right? Because we know that for 31 this is the set bits. Now it's actually time to get the set bits value. So what we are actually going to do is, how many bits are set in this num. What we'll do is, we'll start with I is equal to 0. We'll start selecting for the first one. In fact, actually, let's not even go there. For I in range 0 all the way up to, I mean, we can go till 31, though 31 we know that the number is going to be lesser than that, but yeah, let's go to go till 32, right? That means it will go from 0 to 31. What we'll do is, if 1 I and num, right, is greater than 0, I'll explain what this exactly means, right? So we will keep a set bits array here, set underscore bits is equal to this. So we got the set bits array over here, and what we're going to do is set underscore bits dot append I, right? That means that this is a set bit, and we'll return set underscore bits, right? So what's basically happening here is, I'm going from all of the possible bit positions, and I'm just creating a bit mask of 1 over there, right? So if I have, let's say, the first bit set, so if I have the first bit set, this will, so the first thing is 0th, right? So it's going to check for the 0th bit, and is it set? If it's set, then we'll say that okay, the first bit is, the 0th bit is set. Then it'll go to the first bit and we'll check if the first bit set, and then it's going to append that, and so we'll get this, the, you know, all the set bits over here. And once we've got all the set bits, we'll use that over here to finally multiply only those indexes which are actually part of these set bits, right? So let's just run it, check if it still works. This works, and okay, it didn't really answer any of the things. Okay, so there's something wrong in our particular thing. We made a mistake somewhere. Let's see where we could have probably made a mistake. So let's just check out here. If one I and num, where have we made a mistake? It's not really clearing any one of our things. So have we gone to the right place? Yeah, we have gone to the right section. And set bits is equal to get set bits of I. If length of set bits is equal to 5, which it is, we say product is equal to 1, and for j in set bits, shortlisted j, that's great. Yep, this is fine. Answer is equal to, okay, this is fine. I think probably we made a mistake here itself in actually getting the set bits part, right? So one I and num, and if it is greater than 0, then what we do is this: for I in range, okay. Alright, so we just made I believe we made a mistake here, 0 to 32, and we return the set bits, and the next time we come we take this. So equal to 1 here, 0 to 32, 1 and num is greater than 0. Yeah, it is. Bits dot append I, and what we do is we have to return the set bits over here. Okay, what is the problem there? Have we not shortlisted properly? That is also a possibility. We might not have shortlisted properly as well. Yeah, while I is less than 5 and ARI less than 0, dot append ARI I equal to I plus 1. We again start I less than 5 and minus 1 greater than equal to 0. Positive values dot append ARRI I is equal to I plus 1, and then we are doing this. Okay, we've obviously made a small mistake somewhere, right? 1 second, just check what is the possible mistake we've made, right? Hold on. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, it's probably a typo somewhere, everybody. So just give me a minute and check it. Yeah, okay, looks like we have, okay, great. So I think most probably we've again made a mistake in getting the positive values over here. I think that is most probably it. ARR minus 1. Have we sorted this entire array? Okay, we have sorted it. We are coming from the back. ARR minus I minus 1 minus I, right? ARR of I less than 0, ARR of minus 1 minus I greater than 0, I is equal to 0, I plus 1. So we, okay, yeah, we made this mistake. We are appending ARRI here, but here we don't really we should not append ARRI, rather we should append minus 1 minus I, right? So this worked out in our run test case, because in the run test case we had positive, we had all the negative values at the start, but in the it never really even came to this loop. But in our submit test case there are probably any positive values, and that's why we made a mistake here. So again, everyone, just be careful of your loops and understanding. So I think this should probably work out for us now. Yeah, now it did work out, right? So yeah, just a very small mistake about going to this, and yeah, I could generally edit this part out of the video, but I don't, just to show you that even I get stuck on this, and it's about your thing of how do you actually end up debugging this part, right? So how do you end up debugging this? It takes a lot of time, and if you join one of our courses, our mentors do this for you. I am also one of the mentors, but our mentors do this for you. Anyways, now a lot of you might be thinking about what exactly happened here. What does this set bits thing here mean? Well, it means here basically that I just want to find out for each integer which of the numbers are set, right? So for example, let's just I'll just leave a comment here so that you can understand better. So just for example, you had this number, right? So yeah, so you had this number, let's say 3, right? So 3 is nothing but a lot of zeros, and then it's like 1 0 1, right? What we want to do is first take 1 to this position, right? We're going to take 1 here, we're going to take to this position and check 1 and this, is it greater than 1? Yes, it is. Everything else will be 0, but this will give you a value 1, which means that this 0th bit is set, right? Then what we'll do is one second. Yeah, so then what we'll do is we'll left shift 1 and make it like this, so it becomes 1 0. So when you AND this is 0 and this is 1, so this entire thing becomes 0 because all the other values are 0 over here, by the way. So all the other values are 0, so this is 0. That means that the second bit is not set. Okay, let's go further, left shift further, and this means that the third bit is set, because when you AND this, you will get a value that is greater than 0, right? Left of it will be 0, right of it will be 0, but this will be 1 0 0, which is what, 4, which 4 is greater than 0. We don't care what number it is, all we're saying is that it will be greater than 0. So that's how this bit masking works. For more on bit masking, you can join one of our courses, or you can check it online. It's a pretty sample approach. So yeah, that's what we did. We learned today bit masking. We learned when is it good to use brute force, how to do brute force. Again, you could use ITER tools and get this done. It is possible to do using ITER tools, and some of you might have used it today as well. But this is just one way that sometimes ITER tools itself might not work, but this will help you out. So just thought of showing you this technique. I hope it was useful to all of you. If you enjoyed today's session, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with your friends. These competitions are much more fun with your friends, so do make sure you share it with your friends. This was day 3, maximum value of previously asked question of Amazon. All these codes, all these solutions will be available on the Edist platform within a couple of days, so you can actually copy paste the code itself if you want to. Thanks everyone for joining in. Wishing you all the best for day 4. And we'll see you all tomorrow at 9 p.m. with the release of the next solution. Thanks all, and see you all next time.